Hi guys, it's Mike from Project-Archangel, and today I want to talk to you about something that is called Shinrin Yoku. And Shinrin Yoku is the Japanese expression for walking in the woods or bathing in the woods. Now this is getting quite a lot of popularity. You can even take a course on how to do it correctly, I assume. But in general, all that means is just you're taking a walk in the woods like I'm doing right now. Now, walking in the woods has a lot of benefits. For one thing, there's research that says it lowers your blood pressure, it decreases your stress hormones, and a lot of other things. But it's also quite enjoyable. Now, I'm sure you guys have some personal experience of walking in the woods. You're not the kind of people that just have been sitting around in the house since they were kids. So I assume you have some good memories when you were walking around in the woods, either as kids or recently. So what's so special about being in the woods? So for one thing, obviously, it's the color. Now, the color green has several effects on your psyche. It soothes you. It also improves your immune system. The second thing you have is the sound. So if you're really quiet, except for that plane right now, but all you can hear is the wind in the leaves. You can hear small animals scurrying around. You can hear the birds, and you can hear insects, bees, and so on. So this is a very special, I don't want to call it a noise, a very special soundscape. It's always kind of hard to find the right words, but it's a very special soundscape that you can get only in the woods. The woods have a very special climate, obviously because the sun doesn't get to heat everything up, and the humidity is different because of all the vegetation around. What you also have is you have a lot of essential oils that evaporate from some of the vegetation around you, so that is in the air. On top of that, obviously there is a lot of oxygen because when the trees breathe out, they breathe out oxygen. But all of that is kind of more the scientific, factual side. What I feel is more interesting in the woods is the inspiration you get. Now, it depends on what kinds of woods you're in, but if you ever find an old tree, something like that, or like a little pond with a big tree around it, you will feel that this is something special, like a special place. Now, you can't really put your finger on why that is a special place, but let me say, I think it's sort of a link between the world here and the spiritual world. Now, what I mean by that, if you look at a tree, a really old tree, an old tree is pretty much sort of a history book of the last however many years it was alive. So you have the tree rings, you have the leaves, and you have the twigs and everything. They are set depending on what kind of life that tree had. Now, did it have a lot of sunshine? Did it have good nutrition? Were there fires? Anything like that. Everything is recorded in that tree if you know how to look at it. Even if you don't know how to look at it, you can sort of feel it because your subconscious sort of can take up more information and process that than your conscious mind. I've talked about that before. Now, whether you believe that in the woods are certain spirits, like the earth spirits, the fire spirits, the water spirits, depending on what part of the woods you're at. So for example, the earth spirits live in the little caves or in the little holes under the trees. The water spirits live in the ponds or in the little waterfalls. The wind spirits live up in the trees where the leaves are. And the fire spirits hide somewhere and come out when there is a fire, obviously. In Iceland, they actually have a law that protects those spirits. You can also see some of the universal patterns in nature. So for example, you can see the Fibonacci numbers in the in the way the leaves and the twigs grow on a tree, for example. Now, even if you don't know anything about that, again, your subconscious will realize it, and you will get a special feeling even though you don't really know why. But all that is sort of like an implicit learning process. So the more often you see these things, eventually you will connect the dots. Especially if you're also interested in these things and you read books about stuff and then you go out in nature, that obviously helps. Then your subconscious and your conscious can hook up and make sense of what you see. One thing I only heard recently was when I watched one of the Joe Rogan podcasts and Paul Stamets was on. He's like a scientist that mushrooms are his big thing. Let me just put it that way. And he said that mushrooms are pretty much everywhere, at least the mycelia. So the underground parts of the mushrooms, like the network, is pretty much everywhere in the woods. So all the trees are sort of connected through like a kind of a nervous system that's made up out of mushrooms. So there's a lot of good reasons to be out in the woods, even if it's just for a walk. You don't really need to do anything special. There's no big secret about how to make bathing in the woods work. I mean, it helps if you don't put your fucking iPod on and, you know, have your earphones on and shit like that. But I guess you have some common sense left, so I don't really need to tell you that. All right, guys. I just thought I'd give you a quick video because I haven't posted anything in a while. I actually was out in the woods for a few days with some friends, so that's actually where I got the idea to make this video. So take care, everybody. I hope you at least enjoyed the view a little bit, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.